A young woman stepping into the public eye under some of the most difficult circumstances imaginable. She's a student at a prestigious American university, alleging she was raped by a linebacker on the school's wildly popular football team. She says she fears her alleged attacker may be on the verge of getting away with it. Here's ABC's Lindsay Janis.
Calm and composed, her father by her side, UNC sophomore Delaney Robinson stepped into the spotlight.
When I entered into Carolina as a freshman, a little over a year ago, I was excited about new friends, new experiences, great faculty and classes. That all changed in February when I was assaulted and raped on campus.
Robinson saying that authorities have allowed her alleged rapist to go unpunished for 7 months now.
My life has changed forever, while the person who assaulted me remains as a student and as a football player on this campus.
That football player, Alan Artis, a Tar Heels linebacker, who Robinson claims raped her on Valentine's Day this year. Robinson says after the incident, she went straight to the hospital and to campus police.
After I was raped, I went to the hospital and gave an account of what I could remember to the sexual assault nurse. Then I was quizzed again by a DPS investigator who asked consistently demeaning and accusatory questions. What was I wearing? What was I drinking? How much did I drink? How many men have I slept with? I was treated like a suspect.
Robinson says she and her lawyer have heard Artis's interrogation tapes, and they made her even angrier.
They told him, don't sweat it. Just keep on living your life and keep on playing football. This man raped me, and the police told him not to sweat it.
The DA's office has not brought charges, so on Tuesday, Robinson took matters into her own hands, using an unusual state law that allowed her to use a magistrate to issue an arrest warrant for Artis for a lesser charge of misdemeanor sexual battery. Artis turned himself into the sheriff's office and yesterday morning was released on bail. Because of UNC policy, the junior linebacker has been indefinitely suspended from the football team. Artis is claiming his encounter with Robinson was consensual. He has not made any further public statement about the charges, and neither has his lawyer.
He's not here.
Despite our repeated attempts to contact him.
We've called several times. Is he not around today?
Delaney, when you found out that Artis called this consensual, what was your reaction?
It was a little disgusting to hear.
Robinson says she was drinking with friends on campus when she found herself alone with Artis. She says she didn't even know his name until police tracked him down.
Including the bruises that were...
During the press conference, her attorney, Denise Branch, holding up photographs of bruises on Robinson's neck she says happened during the alleged assault.
We have been informed by the Orange County District Attorney's Office that they do not feel that there is sufficient evidence to charge this case.
The district attorney says the case is still under investigation, and more serious charges could still be brought against Artis.
Delaney Robinson and her lawyer say this is taking way too long. It's been 7 months. There's a wealth of evidence. Do you think it should be moving faster?
I think that the UNC Police Department is continuing to investigate this case, and as long as they are moving forward and they feel like they have other avenues to pursue, I think that they should be allowed to do that.
In a statement, the University of North Carolina said they cannot comment on an open investigation, but added that they are deeply committed to the safety and well-being of our students and take all allegations about sexual violence or sexual misconduct extremely seriously. While the university always tries to complete an investigation as quickly as possible, our priority is to ensure that the factual investigations are complete and conducted in a fair and thorough manner. The University of North Carolina has been at the center of campus rape scandals before, as seen in the documentary The Hunting Ground, which follows two young activists who both say they were raped while attending the school.
The first few weeks, I made some of my best friends, and we're still really, really close to this day. But 2 of us were sexually assaulted before classes had even started.
Andrea Pino and Annie Clark lodged a Title IX complaint against UNC and helped other survivors do the same on their campuses.
Unfortunately, this is what Delaney did with the press conference and lodging her own warrants. You know, this is the measures. These are the things that survivors have to do to get justice. And what we've seen, you know, at a lot of schools has been that athletes and/or privileged individuals are given special treatment.
In June, a case out of Stanford University sparked national outcry when star swimmer Brock Turner received a 6-month sentence for sexually assaulting an unconscious 22-year-old woman. He served 3 months. His victim, while never identified, became known through her words in a letter to her attacker that went viral and was given voice by other sexual assault survivors.
And finally, to girls everywhere, I am with you.
Did those sentences, those lenient sentences like Brock Turner, for example, the Stanford swimmer, did that influence your decision here?
It definitely added some outrage to my will to go forward. It motivated me, that brave girl that spoke out, and she definitely gave me that hope for some change.
According to a sweeping survey of 27 universities, more than 1 in 5 female undergrads were victims of sexual assault or misconduct. Many cases, like Delaney Robinson's, involve questions of consent, a question complicated by alcohol.
The idea of blackout drunk, sometimes that can mean that people are speaking and doing things without actually remembering what they did. However, the definition of rape is if somebody is intoxicated and impaired, that you cannot presume consent.
The question of how drunk someone was and whether they were incapacitated, whether they were blackout drunk, or whether they were able to, in some form, give consent is often very hard to untangle.
Lawyer Andrew Miltenberg has represented several male college students accused of sexual assault. He believes many of those accused men are automatically assumed guilty.
We have to be sensitive to the fact that young women like Delaney Robinson need to be able to come forward and file complaints. At the same time, we have to ensure that young men like Alan Artis are given a full and fair opportunity to be heard.
There are a lot of people who look at cases like this and say there was alcohol involved, it's not entirely clear, maybe there was some sort of consent.
I think that people need to be aware if someone is incapacitated by alcohol or drugs or anything that clouds the mind that does, there is an absence of consent.
While Robinson and her lawyer fight for their day in court, she's still attending UNC, as is the man she's accused of raping her.
How has it affected your ability to continue going to school here?
It impacts me. I mean, I see him every day.
You see artists every day on campus?
Yeah, there's always a possibility. But it's affected me, but it would any victim.
For Nightline, I'm Lindsay Janis in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Our thanks to Lindsay Janis for that report.